This stuff here, I don't think it's going to make any difference, but this is a video to everyone. It's not to just Americans. It's primarily to Americans because if people knew this stuff, they would take a step back and really think about what's going on. But everybody in the world will be affected by this. And it's been going on for a long time. But I can take this all the way back to Plato, but I'm not going to go through all that history right there. But I will give you a quote from Thomas Malthus. Two types of preventive checks come into play through foresight of the difficulties attending the rearing of a family. They include celibacy, contraceptives, and various forms of non-procreative sex. That's for the haves. That's for the rich people. That's for the special bloodlines and all that, which most of us are not. This is a very small, select group of people. They are the perfect people. They decide who wins, who lives, who dies, who has kids, who don't. The positive checks are the distresses of some of the lower classes by which they are disabled from giving the proper food and attention to their children. Under this, Malthus includes extreme poverty, disease, plagues, malnutrition, wars, infanticide, and famine. Positive are more likely to operate within poor populations, preventative among upper class. Now, another thing that he had said was the positive checks to population, by which the check that represses an increase which has already begun is confirmed chiefly, though not perhaps solely, to the lowest orders of society. Diseases, wars, disasters, famines, and genocides all should be utilized to increase the death rate. So they help create and instigate more and more things, whatever it takes to increase the death rate of us low-class trash, pretty much what he's saying. If you're not rich or, of some noble bloodline, you're fair game. You know what? I'm actually getting ahead of myself. There was something else I wanted to give you first. And this is it, because I want you to remember this stuff as I'm giving you this other information. Charles Ranlett Flint, he was the founder of Computing Tabulation Recording Company. They consider him father of trust. Thomas J. Watson bought him out, changed the name in 1924 to International Business Machines, better known as IBM. Remember that. It was based out of Endicott, New York. This is where the Nazi program got its start. A lot of people don't realize that sterilization programs and eugenics had been going on in the United States for a long time and were just a stepping stone and the building blocks for Hitler. As far as I know, the eugenics program, forced sterilization started sometime around 1843, 1849. In 1927, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of this program. The case was Buck versus Bell. You can look that up. You look that up, you're going to find all kinds of information of who was targeted. But after that court decision, the eugenics program, which up until then included euthanizing people they deemed unfit, imbeciles. They decided on who can have kids, who couldn't. And this stuff comes from the people that control the most liberal colleges in America today. California, Washington, and Oregon were the top three in forced eugenics, forced sterilization on minorities and people of of a poor wealth. This wasn't race to them. This was purifying bloodlines. This was getting rid of all defects, what they thought was defects in humans. But they found a niche when they could make it a race issue. The division hit, they took control, and boy did they ever. Watson, the owner of IBM, ended up receiving the Grand Cross of the Order of German Eagle. Standard Oil, which funded millions to the Nazi Germany, which is owned by John D. Rockefeller, which is the Rockefeller Foundation. We're going to learn more about them here in just a minute too. Since 1933, Prescott Bush, Ford, GM, DuPont, Dow, Krupps, GM, Ford, and many more pumped money to Germany. This was in the 30s. This was once the eugenics program moved to Germany. After the decision of 1927, by 1929 and 1932, it had gotten so widespread in the United States, they had to move it. So they moved it to Germany. And the Germans took off with it. And it really wasn't until the Germans started gassing millions of people. Then Japan, after Japan, which, hell, the president knew that was coming. He didn't want to warn nobody because that he knew that he would have the people's support to enter that war. People don't know that either. Ambassador Dodd to Roosevelt. He wrote a letter to Roosevelt telling him, U.S. industries are hell-bent to bring fascist state to our government, are working close with Germany and Italy. Remember some of that stuff. I'll get back to that in just a minute. In 1859, Charles Darwin writes the book, Origin of Species. The full name of that book that a lot of people don't know or don't realize is, I think, The Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection, or the Preservation of Favored Races. These are the people that's in control of the United States. The United States is not a country to them. It's just a place. They want everything. It's not countries to them. The world belongs to them. We're piss ants dirtying up their world. And they use people, they use their emotions, whatever it takes to point out that's the bad guy over there, that's the one that's doing it, when really they're the ones that's killing your people. But you're so blind with emotion, you won't listen. Everybody is working very hard to give up what little bit of freedom's left. If you just give me some time, take this information, you have any brains to you whatsoever, you'll look it up. I'm not asking you to believe what I'm telling you. I'm giving you some information to help you decide, make a conscious decision. Do I want to be under the thumb of another man? Do I want to belong or be at his mercy? Or do I want to be free? That's what this is about. They've been doing it to people under them for a long, long time. But this gets a whole lot better. Sir Francis Galton, which is Charles Darwin's cousin, inquires into human faculty and its development, cultivation of race eugenics. Eugenics is Greek for eugenes of noble birth. Early 1900s, popular academic discipline organizations formed and funded to win public support, using us to support our extermination. These are the universities and colleges, the top ones in the United States today, which ironically enough produces the most people that are fighting for their own extinction. It's not their fault. I know everybody can call them idiots or whatever they want to call them. They have been brainwashed year after year after year after year. How are they supposed to know any better? Nobody's taught them anything different. That's what this is for. If these people get some of this information, maybe they may look at me and go, hey, the guy's full of shit. But I'm going to look it up. I'm going to check. They may look at it and go, oh my gosh, I'm on the wrong side. I'm trying to kill off my whole family. In 1927, the Rockefeller Foundation funded the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute in Berlin. Cold Spring Harbor reject all humans are born equal. Began selling the idea of cultivating a new master race of noble bloodlines. Planned Parenthood, Margaret Sanger, racial eugenics advocate. It's kind of true, kind of not true. Wasn't racial eugenics to her or anybody else. It was eugenics and extermination of anyone that wasn't of noble, or what they considered noble bloodline, or what they, anybody they deemed unfit, imbeciles, dumbasses, retards, whatever. Potential criminals. They take somebody and look at them and go, you know what? They may produce a child that commits a crime. We're going to sterilize her. And they did. Convicting people that weren't even born yet, which is kind of what they're doing today. IBM President Thomas Watson established a base in Poland, the Watson Business Machines, to assist Nazi invasion of Poland. IBM managed this from New York headquarters. That's a fact. At the Nuremberg trials, Nazis on trial quoted our U.S. Supreme Court endorsed aspects of eugenics in 1927 decision. So Supreme Court Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes and Nazis claimed eugenics program ran from the United States. Watson soon took over IBM. His granddaughter married Alexander Sanger, which is Margaret Sanger's grandson. Bill Gates' father worked on the board of Planned Parenthood. His mother worked on the corporate board of IBM. Now, this is where you have to start keeping all this stuff together and understanding. Go back through, listen to it again, write it down, start looking it up. This is who is in control of the vaccine and the virus. We are in a eugenics program. I can bet you anything. Mother was on IBM corporate board. Bill partnered with Microsoft, but Bill Sr. Bill Gates is the biggest pusher for vaccine and population control. And I don't know why, but for some reason I wrote down CO2 equals PXSX. Now CO2, I found out there's 2.5 million people worldwide. It may be more than that. I can't remember what the exact number was. Every year, on average, that die from non-influenza pneumonia. Well, I know in my state, the average is 3,400. It fluctuates from 2,900 to I think 3,700, somewhere around there. But it's averaged around 3,400 every single year. And I look back to 2014. It was no reason to go back any further than that, except this year. Nobody this year is on record of dying from non-influenza pneumonia. Not one. But we've got about, here at the end of December, 12 months, we're right here around 3,500 people, maybe 3,700 people. Ain't that weird? The Gates Foundation funds the WHO, World Health Organization, the National Institute of Health, Dr. Anthony Fauci, Pirbright Institute, and the CDC. And I have a European patent here. I don't know why I wrote this down. 0186. Vaccine or vaccine composition of the invention that may be used to treat a human. Pirbright Institute is mostly doing experiments and tests on farm animals, but in the past few years they started doing on the connection or transmitter rate between animals and humans. Now, people can call it what they want. I'm calling it what it is. Peter Singer, save the cows, kill the disabled babies. You like that? In January 2010, according to the Gates Foundation, it's a global vaccination action plan. Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation call for the next 10 years to be the decade of vaccinations. Yeah, I'm sorry for just piddle farting around. I have so much stuff. Mary Maxwell Gates, Bill Gates' mother, was the chair of National United Way Executive Committee, where she served most notably with IBM CEO John Opel. Her grandfather, James Willard Maxwell, director of the Seattle branch of the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco. Federal Reserve Bank. January 1999, Time magazine ran a series entitled The Future of Medicine, Genetic Revolution of Human Race. Article cursed by eugenics Paul Gray wrote that the rise and fall of the theory known as eugenics is in every aspect a cautionary tale. Early eugenics embodied their Darwin and decided that the process of natural selection would improve if it were guided by human intelligence shaping atrocities. Guided by human intelligence shaping atrocities. Take that how you want it. Today, insurance companies are interested in data related to genetic maladies with regards to risk management. Bill Gates Sr. is president of Washington State Board Association, served on boards Greater Seattle Chamber of Commerce, King County United Way, Planned Parenthood. He was the founder of Technology Alliance, founded and co-chaired Pacific Summit, serves honorary chair of World Justice Project, leading a global multidisciplinary effort to strengthen the rule of law. Bill Gates Jr., BGC3, Cascade Investments, Corbis, Big History Project. If you want to, you know what? Look up United States eugenics programs or United States eugenics projects. And then go down to references or wherever, look for it. Click on America's eugenics connection with Nazi Germany. Hitler didn't start that. That started right here in the United States by the same people that are stealing the election. It's not a Republican and a Democrat thing. The Republican and Democrat thing is a category to keep us divided. That's all that is. It's worked. These people know how to manipulate people. If the bill they just passed didn't open your eyes to the fact that the Republicans and Democrats are of the same party, and it is not Republican or Democrat. They're of the noble party. Call it what you want. The fact is, the winners and losers in all this is going to be, they will be the winners, we will be the losers. So you have to ask yourself, are my emotions controlling my decisions? Are my emotions blocking my ability to see the truth? Is it more important for me to be under the thumb of another man at his mercy for him to tell me if I can have kids or not? Or do I want to stand on my own feet, be a free man, and be equal? Simple run, people. Videos. I just wanted to throw that out because I've had this, and I jumped around a lot. I know I did. If you care about the truth and you want to understand which side's the side that you need to be on, go back and look at some of this. There's a lot of people in this country that's choking themselves out. There's a lot of people in this country that's going to suffer because they've been convinced by these maniacs that they're right. The BLM groups, the Antifa groups, you know, they've got spirit. Some of them do. Some of them are bought. But is that little shiny thing or that little bit of money, is that worth putting yourself back in the chains under somebody else? Y'all take care.